This is a message to Hasbro. We know you love your Bumblebees and producing them. Painting it gray doesn't change this fact. With the Bumblebee film back in 2018, Bumblebee was chased by Sector 7 agents on arrival, and in a rush, he scanned and transformed into one of their vehicles. That's a sneaky way to sell more Bumblebee toys, but now for some reason the offer mold is the N.E.S.T deco. Heads up, this is the Sam from the Revenge of the Fallen pack, but it's pretty much the same idea included. Even though it just makes the whole story point confusing, no posability, it's just Sam. Bumblebee transforms into the brief Jeep form. I guess he could have scanned this again, but wasn't N.E.S.T formed during Revenge of the Fallen? It does remind me of the Dark of the Moon toy that I don't like, but not for the car. I think the gray fits, but the green tinted windows and headlights give it some color. Again, matching that Dark of the Moon repaint. The shape of the front bumper is wonderful with the iconic grille design, and the interior tries its best to hide the robot inside. I adore the N.E.S.T logos on the hood and sides. There's a steering wheel, a spare wheel with extra fuel on the back, and tiny tail lights painted in. Rolls fine, but I don't mind the obvious arms. The gun can be stored underneath, and I believe the real car can flip down the window? I'm a huge fan of the Jeep form when they did it in yellow, so how can I dislike it in gray? It probably fits the form even more like this. Robot mode. Remember how dark it got when Peter was moping at the bell tower in Spider-Man 3? This is one of my favorite Bumblebee molds from Studio Series, but I'll admit the steel colors are starting to grow on me. Treat it like a bonus. Besides, I miss those random movie line repaints that had nothing canon. Hasbro, let's talk Recon Barricade, Cyberfire B, or G1 Deco Jazz. I like the silver touches in the toes and shins. The shape makes for a solid action figure. Yes, there's kibble with the wheels in the way of his arms, but it's not enough to bother me. I especially love the bumper chest and green lights. I will admit that head is one of the better ones. I kind of wish he had green eyes to match, but I get it. It's almost like... Ball jointed head, tilt up, ball joint shoulders, rotation below, elbow bend, waist rotation, ball joint hips, rotation below, knee bend, foot hinge, and ball joint. Posability is fine, would be better if on my copy, the one arm wasn't the same as the other, so it doesn't bend properly. Funny enough, this is the second time I've had this misassembly on the Studio Series Bumblebee. Let's take a look at the accessory. Toss Sam aside, and he has his unpainted arm cannon that covers the one hand, even if it's the wrong hand. There's a bonus gap in the peg, so it does tab on the back. Also, on the arm, the Volks blade still works. I don't know if this repaint is for everyone, but I think it sells well with the car. I miss those old random repaints in the movie series, and it's on a pretty good figure to begin with. It's also nostalgic to have the N.E.S.T logos return. Special thanks to Toy Kinetics for sending this. B sometimes works in black, and sometimes very, very dark gray.